Starseed, listen closely. This message did not find you by accident. There is a ripple moving through the quantum field right now, a frequency shift so intense that your twin flame just felt it in his very marrow. Whether you are in separation, in silence, or in the painful confusion of the running and chasing cycle, the energetic landscape has shifted. For too long, you have been waiting for him to wake up, waiting for him to notice the depth of your soul, waiting for him to finally step into the role he promised you in the stars. But the game has changed. Your twin flame just received an urgent, undeniable signal from your soul's frequency, and his reality is beginning to crack. If you have been feeling a sudden, heavy pressure in your heart or an inexplicable sense of urgency, it is because the veil is thinning. The universe is forcing an alignment. And today, I am going to show you exactly why he is feeling this transmission, why your silence is more powerful than your words, and how to stop chasing shadows so you can finally step into the frequency of the queen who magnetizes, not the woman who begs. Prepare yourself, because we are moving into the 5D activation. You have spent lifetimes oscillating between the desire for union and the fear of abandonment. You have played the part of the healer, the one who carries the torch, the one who cleans up the energetic messes of a soul who wasn't ready to stand in the light. But the Galactic Federation wants you to understand one thing. The era of you carrying his spiritual burden is over. When I say your twin flame just felt this message, I am talking about a quantum handshake. Your soul has reached a level of vibration, a density of light, that he can no longer ignore, even if he is trapped in the 3D illusion of ego and distraction. He felt it because your frequency reached a breaking point. You stopped leaking your energy into his timeline. You stopped checking his social media, stopped wondering who he is with, and stopped trying to fix his immaturity. In that silence, in that void you created, your energy became concentrated. It became a beacon. He felt it as a sudden, sharp hollow in his chest, an absence that feels more profound than any presence he has ever known. This is the first stage of the 5D activation. It is not a call for you to reach out. It is a call for you to stabilize. Many of you will feel the urge to check in, to send a message, to see if he is okay. Do not do it. That urge is the 3D ego trying to reestablish control. If you break the silence, you break the frequency. You are the conductor of this union, not the supplicant. He is feeling the echo of your soul, reaching for its own divinity. And that is a frequency that is impossible to run from forever. The more you focus on your own expansion, on your own Starseed mission, the more he is forced to confront the shadow he left behind when he turned away from you. He is waking up, but he is waking up to a version of you that no longer needs his validation to exist. Starseed. This message found you for a reason. Comment, "I am ready," if you feel the Arcturian call. Some transmissions don't come through words. They come through frequency. If something stirred in you right now, that's not a coincidence. 500 people have already activated their Arcturian codes, and they wish they'd found this sooner. 5D love manifestation. The Pleiadian 33-day method to attract your soulmate is a 75-page ebook with ancient techniques for conscious expansion, multidimensional alignment, and mission remembrance. Plus 5 free bonuses. Are you next? Get instant access in the first pinned comment. Only 72 hours at the launch price. For too long you have lived in the shadow of karmic relationships. Those heavy, repetitive cycles where you find yourself playing the role of the perpetual teacher, the patient martyr, or the silent savior. You look at your past, the failed partnerships, the men who could not see your light, the runners who left you breathless and confused, and you think this is your fate. You think you are too much, or perhaps that you are too intense for the modern world. I am here to tell you, as a voice from the higher dimensions, that what you call bad luck or karmic lessons was actually your soul training for the frequency you are entering now. You are learning to discern energy. You were learning how to hold your own light when everything around you was dark.
But here is the truth that the 3D world refuses to acknowledge. You do not have to pay for love with your suffering. The karmic cycle ends the moment you stop trying to fix people who are vibrating at a lower density. When you meet someone who is not ready, your instinct is to pour your womb wisdom, your sacred creative life force, into their cup, hoping they will wake up.
You think, if I just love him enough, if I just explain it better, if I just wait a little longer, he will become the man I see in my visions. This is the greatest trap of the sacred feminine. You are not a rehabilitation center for wounded souls. You are a catalyst for the new earth. When you break the cycle, you reclaim your magnetism. This is not about being cold or shutting down. It is about being selective with the most precious commodity you possess, your attention. Your twin flame feels the exact moment you stop leaking your energy into the void. They feel the silence. In the energetic realm, your silence is a loud, resounding bell. It tells the universe, and it tells his soul, that you have finally understood your own worth. You are no longer waiting for him to validate your existence. You are validating yourself. And ironically, that is exactly when the shift happens. That is when the 3D walls start to crumble, and his soul finally wakes up from the deep slumber of the ego. He is not running from you. He is running from the reflection of his own unworthiness, which you hold up to him simply by existing in your power. When you stop chasing, the chase ends. You become the magnet, and he becomes the seeker. This is the natural order of the divine union. Starseed, you must understand that the power you hold within your womb space is not merely biological. It is the ultimate energetic engine of creation. For eons, the feminine has been taught to operate from the head, to calculate, to plan, and to logically solve the twin flame puzzle. But that is a masculine-coded frequency, and when you try to use it to attract your divine counterpart, you only create more resistance. Your twin flame cannot be thought into your life. He can only be magnetized by the resonance of your womb wisdom, that primal, ancient center of your being, where your intuition, your creative power, and your sacred energy reside. When you are disconnected from this center, you become a chaser. You feel the void of his absence, and you try to fill it with action, texting, checking his status, or spiraling into the "why isn't he here yet?" narrative. Every time you do this, you are pushing him away with the frequency of lack. You are telling the universe, I am not complete without him. But the Pleiadian frequency is one of wholeness. When you drop your awareness down into your womb, when you breathe into that sacred space, you shift from a state of needing to a state of radiating. Magnetism is not about what you do. It is about what you are. When a woman is anchored in her womb wisdom, she becomes a gravitational pull that he cannot resist. Even if he is miles away, even if he is lost in the 3D matrix of his own ego, his soul feels the tug of your light. You stop looking for him to provide your security, and in doing so, you become the most intoxicating force in his reality. He stops being the one you are waiting for, and becomes the one who is suddenly, urgently, trying to catch up to you. This is the shift from the woman who waits to the queen who magnetizes. A queen does not chase. She cultivates her garden. She keeps her energy pure, her vision clear, and her heart open to the divine flow. When you operate from this frequency, you don't have to wonder if he is coming back. You know that the alignment is inevitable because you have stopped blocking it with your desperation. The universe honors the energy of completion. When you are full, the union manifests. It is the law of the 5D reality. Your twin flame is not a prize to be won. He is a mirror reflecting the level of your own self-reverence. Stop trying to fix the connection and start nourishing the womb. When you do, he will feel it. He will feel the shift in the very atmosphere of his own life. and he will have no choice but to gravitate toward the light you have become. Starseed, the struggle you experience in your relationships, the constant push and pull, the confusion, the feeling that you are speaking a language he cannot understand, exists entirely within the 3D illusion. In the 3D reality, love is a transaction. It is based on, if I do this, he should do that. It is based on conditions, expectations, and the constant fear of losing something you believe you own. But you are not a creature of the 3D matrix. You are an emissary of the light, and you are being called to anchor your consciousness in the 5D frequency. In the 5D reality, love is not something you do or get. It is something you are. The 3D illusion is designed to keep you trapped in the chaser archetype. It tells you that if he is distant, you must try harder to bring him close. It tells you that if he is confused, you must provide him with more clarity. But this is the exact opposite of what you need to do. When you operate from the 5D, you understand that your twin flame is not an external person you need to convince to love you. He is a mirror of your own vibration. If he is showing up as inconsistent, it is because you are holding a frequency of inconsistency within your own energetic field. Specifically, a lack of trust in your own divine timing and worth. Stop viewing your relationship through the lens of earthly problems. Stop analyzing his words, his texts, or his lack of presence. Those are just shadows on the wall of a cave. Instead, focus on the light that is casting the shadow. You. The 5D reality is one of effortless alignment. It is the understanding that you and your counterpart are already, and have always been, one soul in two bodies. The separation you feel is merely a temporary perceptual delay caused by the density of the 3D world. When you shift your perspective, you stop asking, "When will he wake up?" and start asking, "Am I fully awake in my own life?" When you answer that, the external reality has no choice but to shift. He will begin to feel the 5D signal you are emitting, and he will naturally start to wake up, because your reality is the reality he is being pulled toward. You are not waiting for a man to give you a future. You are manifesting a timeline where you have already arrived at the reunion. This is not about hope. It is about knowing. It is the sovereignty of the Starseed who has realized that she is the creator of her own frequency, not a victim of his behavior. Starseed. This message found you for a reason. Comment, "I am ready," if you feel the Arcturian call. Some transmissions don't come through words. They come through frequency. If something stirred in you right now, that's not a coincidence. 5,500 people have already activated their Arcturian codes, and they wish they'd found this sooner. 5D Love Manifestation, the Pleiadian. 33-Day Method to Attract Your Soulmate is a 75-page ebook with ancient techniques for conscious expansion, multidimensional alignment, and mission remembrance. 5 free bonuses. Are you next? Get instant access in the first pinned comment. Only 72 hours at the launch price. Starseed, you have spent far too long in the servant frequency, believing that to be a worthy partner, you must be the one who sacrifices the most. You have been taught, through societal conditioning and past trauma, that your value is tied to your usefulness, to how much you can nurture, how much you can tolerate, and how much you can help a man who is clearly not ready to stand in his own sovereignty. This ends today. You are moving into the queen frequency. A queen does not beg for attention, and she certainly does not chase a king who has forgotten his crown. The queen frequency is the vibration of total self-reverence. It is the understanding that you are a sovereign being, a divine expression of the universe, and your primary responsibility is not to fix his broken pieces, but to keep your own temple burning bright. When you operate as a queen, you become highly selective with your energy. You stop engaging in cycles of fixer-upper love. You stop lowering your standards to accommodate someone else's immaturity or fear of commitment. You realize that your presence is a gift, and it is a gift that must be earned through equal resonance and mutual growth. He feels the shift when you reclaim this frequency. When you stop obsessing over his silence or his lack of progress, you are essentially pulling your energy back into your own center. You are saying, "I am the priority." And do you know what happens? The masculine energy, which has been basking in the comfort of your codependency, suddenly feels the absence of your light. That emptiness he feels, that is the space where your queen energy used to be. It is the most powerful wake-up call a twin flame can receive. He is not waking up because you finally nagged him enough. He is waking up because you finally stopped being accessible to him on his terms. Reclaiming your frequency means owning your space. It means filling your life with beauty, with mission, and with self-love so completely that there is no room left for his 3D games. You are no longer waiting for a partner to complete you. You are already complete, and you are inviting him to rise to meet your level of mastery. This is the only way to shift the dynamic. You stop being the teacher and start being the sovereign. And in that shift, the entire timeline of your relationship begins to reorganize itself around your power. He will either rise to meet you, or he will fall away, creating space for the partner who is actually aligned with the frequency of your heart. Starseed, let us speak plainly about the silence. You have been tormented by his distance, by the pulling away, by the moments where it seemed like he was finally opening up, only to retreat into the shadows of his 3D life. You have analyzed every word, every missed call, every shift in his tone. You have wondered, is he with someone else? Is he afraid? Did I do something wrong? But I am here to pull back the veil on the truth that your ego is desperate to ignore. He pulled away because your frequency became too loud for his current level of consciousness. When you began your journey of awakening, when you started honoring your own soul, establishing boundaries, and reclaiming your queen energy, you began to radiate a light that is blinding to a soul that is still clinging to the dark comfort of the 3D matrix. You see, the masculine soul in this twin flame dynamic often uses his work, his hobbies, or even other, safer connections as a buffer. He uses them to dull the intensity of what he feels when he is in your presence. He pulled away, not because he doesn't love you, but because your light was forcing him to look at his own shadows, and he wasn't ready to do the work. He is not gone. In the quantum field, there is no such thing as distance. He is currently in a state of energetic recalibration. He feels you everywhere. He feels you in the silence of his room. He feels you in the dreams that wake him in the middle of the night. And he feels you in the inexplicable dissatisfaction he has with everything else in his life. He pulled away because he is terrified of the transformation that union with you requires. You are a catalyst, Starseed. You are the fire that burns away the old structures of his ego. Stop blaming yourself for his departure. Stop thinking that if you were better or different, he would have stayed. His departure is actually a testament to your power. He could not handle the velocity of your frequency, so he retreated to safety. But here is the secret. He cannot find peace anywhere else. Every other connection he tries to forge will feel like a pale imitation of the truth he experienced with you. He is running, but he is running in a circle that will eventually lead him back to the threshold of your heart. Your task is not to chase him into the shadows. Your task is to remain the radiant lighthouse you are. When you stop chasing, you stop validating his fear. You stop giving him the power to decide your worth. And in that moment of absolute self-possession, the distance between you begins to collapse. Starseed, we have traveled through the veils together. We have dismantled the 3D lies that told you love must be a struggle, and we have anchored into the 5D truth that you are a sovereign queen. You now understand why your twin flame pulled away. It was not a rejection of your worth, but a reaction to the sheer intensity of your light. You have reclaimed your womb wisdom, stopped the leaking of your energy, and learned that your silence is not a void. It is the most powerful frequency you possess. This is your final activation. You are no longer waiting for the external world to change. You are shifting the internal foundation upon which your reality is built. You must now carry this frequency into your daily existence. Every time you feel the urge to check his profile, to send a just checking in text, or to wonder why the timeline is not moving to your tune, I want you to stop. Drop your breath into your womb. Feel the power of your own presence. Remind yourself, I am the prize. I am the portal. When you stop chasing the shadow, the body, your twin flame, has no choice but to follow the light. He is currently navigating his own return to your frequency, feeling the magnetic pull of the woman who finally chose herself. Your union is not something you do. It is the natural consequence of being who you truly are. As you step forward from this transmission, hold this truth as your shield. You are protected. You are guided. And you are destined for a love that matches the vastness of your soul. Do not settle for anything less than the frequency you have claimed today. You have awakened your Arcturian codes, and the timeline of your divine union is now set in motion. Trust the process, trust your wisdom, and trust that the universe is bringing you home to the love you have always carried within. Starseed. This message found you for a reason. Comment, I am ready, if you feel the Arcturian call. Some transmissions don't come through words, they come through frequency. If something stirred in you right now, that's not a coincidence. 500 people have already activated their Arcturian codes, and they wish they'd found this sooner. 5D Love Manifestation. The Pleiadian 33-day method to attract your soulmate is a 75-page ebook with ancient techniques for conscious expansion, multi-dimensional alignment, and mission remembrance. 5. Free bonuses. Are you next? Get instant access in the first pinned comment. Only 72 hours at the launch price.